Hi everybody, I'm Susan Mulvihill. Welcome back to the rest of our garden. I am going to do a really fun video today. You know, I love the season of fall because I love seeing our landscape come alive with all sorts of bright colors. So I thought I would show you what is bringing us color in our landscape right now and give you some ideas for your own garden. I thought I would start out with some of the native shrubs that we're growing in our garden because they really light up the landscape as we get into fall. And one of the things I want to emphasize about native plants and shrubs and trees is that what grows in my region might not grow in yours. So always consult your local master gardeners or your local conservation district or local nurseries to find out which native plants are ideal for your location. So what you're looking at here with all those pretty colorful leaves is the American cranberry bush. This is something we have grown for years, and it's not a typical cranberry plant, but it's known as the cranberry bush, and actually the berries are edible, although we just leave them for the birds. But this shrub is fantastic. So in the spring, we get these beautiful white lace cap flowers. In summer, they turn into bright glossy green berries. And then as the season progresses, they start changing color. So you can see the berries now are bright red, and they get softer as we go into later in the fall and into the winter. And those berries feed all sorts of wonderful birds in our landscape, especially cedar and Bohemian waxwings, which I absolutely adore. This shrub can get up to 12 feet tall, and actually I'm looking at a tall branch and realizing, yeah, it does get that tall. Take a look at this. Wow. But of course, it depends on the conditions in your landscape. But I would not have a garden without American cranberry bush. Now, right next to it, I want to show you another wonderful shrub, and these leaves belong to it. Not all of the leaves have started turning color yet, but they will soon. So that is a golden currant, and this shrub is absolutely gorgeous. We get lovely flowers in the spring, and then they form berries. The berries feed the birds. So we are all about attracting birds and making them feel welcome here. And so we love getting shrubs and trees that do at least double duty, if not triple duty. So this is a great one for the birds. And that lovely bird song, very timely, was from a song sparrow. But this is another wonderful shrub that we really enjoy. Now, even though this shrub doesn't have any fall colors, look at these amazing clusters of berries. This is the aptly named snowberry bush. It's another native shrub, and these berries will feed the birds in the winter. So it's very popular. It's pretty dense, and that gives a place for birds to shelter in if there's a predator in the area, and it really has made a nice addition to our landscape. Now here's another native shrub in our landscape. This is the button bush, and the name comes from these really unusual flowers. So I'm going to show you a photo of what the flowers look like during the summer months. They really attract the pollinators, as you can see. But we are going to have lovely golden foliage throughout the fall on this shrub. You might be familiar with this native shrub. It's called red osier dogwood. And in addition to these pretty fall leaves, the stems are a gorgeous kind of a maroon color. They are really easy to grow, and they produce berries that the birds like. Okay, now let's look at some other types of shrubs that add color to the landscape. This one is oak leaf hydrangea, And I think the leaves are beautiful as is, but as you can see, they are starting to turn color, and they will become the most beautiful burgundy colored leaves. They have more of a cone-shaped type of a blossom, and I think this is a great addition to any landscape. Now here is an interesting hydrangea. It's a smooth hydrangea called mini mauvette. During the majority of the growing season, those flowers are a pale, pinky, purpley mauve. And this time of year, what they're doing is they're changing to kind of a chartreuse color. So this works in the landscape and also in floral arrangements for several months. Isn't that cool? Now, how about this hydrangea? This one is called Little Quickfire. It is a panicle hydrangea. I grow quite a lot of that type of hydrangea. It's got those conical flower heads, and they tend to be super hardy. So this one is sort of a creamy color during the main part of the growing season, as you can see here. And then the flowers turn sort of a mauve color. It is a great addition to the landscape. And boy, they seem to be tough as nails. Now I've shown you this panicle hydrangea before. This one is vanilla strawberry. And I showed it to you earlier in the season when all of the flower heads were sort of a creamy white color. That's the vanilla. And now you can see they are strawberry colored. So they are amazing. Look at the size of the flower heads. Wow. Super easy to grow, easy to prune, tough as nails. And special color at the end of the season. This one is called Spirea Double Play Blue Kazoo. I just love the color of those leaves. Now I would be remiss if I didn't include blueberry bushes, because not only do you get gorgeous white flowers in the spring and a bountiful harvest of berries in the summer, but you're also treated to fall foliage. So you can see these leaves are just starting to turn red, and they really make a great addition to the landscape for all of these reasons. I have two favorite trees that I was going to show you that do provide interest in the garden this time of year. And what you're looking at right now is a hawthorn tree. The variety is Paul's Scarlet. And check out those beautiful berries. Now those berries will soften up during the winter and be another food source for birds. And here you can see the whole tree. You'll recall that last winter we had a whole lot of very heavy snow, and this poor tree lost a lot of branches, but it's recovering nicely, and I have a new branch that I'm training off to the east side of the tree that I'm hoping will balance it out. It's always kind of hard to show this witch hazel, but you can see that its leaves are turning golden and it's just starting to bloom. This is the native witch hazel, and some people get the blooms later in the winter, and I always get mine in the fall. Let me show you a close-up of them. Now here are some. They're tiny little things, but they're always a joy this time of year. And here are some of the leaves. Now how about some perennials that give you late season color? This is Sedum Autumn Joy. Technically now the genus is Hylotelephium. That's a little bit hard to get used to, but I'm going with the flow. And the flowers draw in bees like crazy, which is awesome. And of course we get this color late in the growing season. I'll show you a few more types of sedums or Hylotelephiums next. Here are two more sedums or Hylotelephiums that are brand new to our landscape, and this one is called Neon. One of the cool things about Japanese anemones is that they bloom at the end of the season. So I get to enjoy this lovely floral show right when the season is winding down. And the bees love them. Did you know that many asters will bloom in the fall for you? So look at this beautiful magenta colored one, and it doesn't look too bad next to that rose either. Here's another aster that's giving us some color late in the season. You can see some of this pretty purple aster right in the middle of a bunch of bee balms. Did you know that herbaceous peonies provide color in the landscape late in the season? Well, yes, they do. We have a few different varieties of them, and this is one of my most colorful ones. You can see this one is starting to turn color as well. I also thought I'd include ornamental grasses because they provide a lot of color in the landscape late in the season. So what you're looking at here is Carl Forster featherweed grass, and look at those golden flower spikes. Wow. This is one of my favorite ornamental grasses. It is called northern sea oats. I love how the leaves are turning a chartreuse color this time of year. Look at these really cool seed heads. Wow. And the plants rustle in the breeze, which is really cool. But one of the other things that I found out over the years is that these look great in floral arrangements. So they add a little bit of extra interest. But yeah, they are just cool. Well, I hope all of this has given you some great ideas of ways to put color into your landscape in the fall. Thanks so much for watching today, everybody. Happy gardening.